just bring everything into the light. You know, we as a people love secrets and like he said, she said kind of stuff. Like we get caught on a weekly, if not daily basis in all these little like, well, don't tell anyone that I said, but he said, but don't mention my name. It's almost like we want to confront things but not have our name divided. So we're just like, oh, but I just want to, don't bring my name into it. And we all these insinuations and all of these things left unsaid. And like, rather than like calling people out on stuff, like, hey, it sounded to me like you were inferring this. Is that true? We just sort of take it on our own and we go somewhere else with it. Now, next thing you know, what's happening is because we're allowing it to stay in the dark, in the land of assumptions and insinuations and things left unsaid, it grows and it festers. And then we get offended and hurt. And we're making all these assumptions, things that we're thinking things about other people that aren't true, and it doesn't really matter because no one has the courage just to lay it on the floor and say, hey, here's what it is, let's talk about it. It's like courtesy or something in our society, just like not to say it. So we live like offended and ticked off and hurt all the time. Well, I decided a long time ago just to sort of level with people. Let's just lay it on the table. Let's just talk about what's uncomfortable. Hey, it sounded to me like you were inferring this. Is that true? And you know what will happen? Sometimes people are offended by my bluntness. I'm kind of okay with that. Because what that means is that now we have brought what could be a big problem into the light, and because it's exposed, we can now deal with misunderstandings and things left unsaid and insinuations and all this different thing. People come to me all the time, hey, I want to tell you something, but you can't tell them that I told you. And I said, well, you know what, I won't do that. If you want to, well, I need to be able to say, you told me this. Well, then I'm, oh, yeah, okay, well, I have a secret, but you can't say anything about it. I say, well, I don't really do that. I don't really do secrets. You know, people are never like, okay, well then I won't tell you. People are always like, well, I'll just tell you anyway. Like, why? Why do we do this? If God is a God of light, and the light reveals and the darkness conceals, why don't we live our lives in the light? We hide our mistakes, and we hide our flaws, and we hide our failures, and we hide our secrets, and we hide all these things. For what reason? What good does it do anyone? Why don't we bring it into the light? I love it when you hear, even like a politician, being honest and open. It's disarmingly fresh, and it's just like, wow, really? Like, we've created the art of saying nothing in paragraphs long. What if we just lived in the light and walked in the light? You know how things look completely different in the dark? You know how when you're in bed and maybe you just watched a terrifying movie like Signs. I saw that movie once, and I have problems with that. I'm a huge guy, and I did karate most of my life, and I've got a stupid amount of guns and weapons and stuff like that. But I am terrified of like taking the garbage out by myself. Don't laugh at me. I don't do it. I saw the movie Signs. There's aliens everywhere, and they're like invisible aliens that can like camouflage themselves. I'll get up at like the crack of dawn and walk into the woods by myself. I don't have a problem with that because like I'm hunting. I'm a different frame of mind. But like when I'm taking the garbage out, I'm sure there is evil creepers waiting to like kill me or something. Like at night when I wake up, like there's like noise and stuff in the house, and Jamie's like, "Go check that out." I'm like, "No, you go check it out." Me go check it out. She's like, it's scary out there. But things in the dark become scary. You have a little kid and he sees something, he's like, I'm sure that's a monster. Like, my closet must be a portal to the underworld and things are coming out to get me and haunt me and kill me and eat me or do something sinister and wrong. And then you turn the light on and you realize like it's laundry. Like that thing you were convinced was something scary, when you finally get the light and inspect what it is, it ends up not being a big deal. And I don't know how many times in our relationships because we don't turn the light on, something that's not sinister becomes sinister. Something that's not offensive becomes offensive. Something that shouldn't be a big deal becomes a big deal because no one will talk about it. We're going to leave it in the dark and it gets scarier and scarier. I'm done. Second thing I want to talk about is how easy it is to get lost in the dark, but how the light helps you find your way. And the Psalms are full of this kind of imagery. Look at Psalm 43 with me. Full of this imagery of like, I'm lost, but the light of God will help me find my way. I don't know where to go, but the light of God will reveal my path. Psalm 43:3 says that Send forth your light and your truth and let them guide me. Let them bring me to your holy mountain, to the place where you dwell. Like, God, I feel lost. I don't know where to go. I feel like you're hard to find right now. I'm not sure which decision to make. I'm not sure which route to pursue. But I want your light to guide me into the right way. And John 8:12 talks about how Jesus is the light of the world. I love this picture that Jesus is the light of the world. That what a claim to make. I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Now, Jesus makes some dramatic claims about himself. Like, it's one thing to say that, like, hey, I have truth, I speak truth, or like, I have light, I illuminate people. But it's nothing to say this whole thing of, like, I am the truth. That implies exclusivity, like, I am the truth. And the people in the ancient world, like in the first century, they had to deal with this reality. There's smart guys around, like Plato and Aristotle and Socrates, and they're claiming to have light and truth. And so what did the earliest Christians do about this idea that Jesus claimed to be like the truth?